Good morning again, beautiful people, and of course, welcome to the Big Report. The 19th of August 2025 will forever be remembered with pain and sorrow in Gidan Mantau, a quiet community in Katsina State. At dawn, as residents gathered for their early morning prayers, terror struck. Armed bandits stormed the village, unleashing carnage that left no fewer than 45 people dead and about 60 others abducted. It was a massacre that shocked not only Katsina State, but the entire nation, exposing once again the fragility of security in rural communities. News Central's Rukayyah Jibia has been following the tragic incident and filed in this report. Take a look.
The road to Gidan Mantau has always been difficult, rough, and full of obstacles. But today, the journey is even more harrowing. A community where life revolved around farming, faith, and serenity has been turned upside down. According to a press release by the state government, at least 13 people lost their lives during the attack, but the locals tells a different story.
Sun kashe mutane sai kuma suna fadin cewa to za su tashi garin a ci gaba da sa wuta cikin garin nan. Sun kuma sa wutan nan sun kone mana jama'a waɗanda mu kama ba san adadin mutane suka kone mana ba.
Then their leader said they should set fire on our own town. They set fire, burning our people, so many that to now we can't say the actual number. The people that were killed in the mosques, also, we could not determine their exact number. If there's anything that the people of Katsina State and Nigeria as a whole need, it is nothing more than security. Because there is no comfort where there is no peace. There is no happiness where there is no peace. I personally buried 23 bodies in total with my own hands. Some that were taken to the hospital died also. They were brought back and buried by the roadside. We do not know how many, only God knows. They kidnapped many, we do not know the number. They were those who were scattered in the forest. They were neither killed nor taken away by the gunmen. At least the number of people we lost is more than 50.
The scene here is heartbreaking. Many homes have been reduced to ashes, walls blackened, roofs caved in, memories destroyed in an instant. Families are grief-stricken, mourning the loss of their loved ones. Mothers, fathers, brothers whose lives were brutally taken during the attack.
Lokacin da suka sami yaran nan da ya rasa mafita ya haye sili suka sawa gidan nan wuta. Wuta! Wallahi yana sama.
My brother climbed through the ceiling trying to escape. They set the house on fire. He came down and aimed for the door because of heat, but they shot him dead. We are good citizens, we don't take matters into our own hands. All we are asking is for the government to help us bring peace to our village. Our parents have been killed, our brothers, there are just few of us in this village.
Amma wannan zalincin da ake mana ya ishe mu. An kashe iyayenmu, an kashe kannanmu, an kashe yayyenmu. Ɗaya ku muka rage a garin nan.
Blood still stains the ground where victims fell, a reminder of the massacre that has left this community shattered. The attacks left this community in ruins. They are shocked, broken, and angry at what they perceive as neglect by the government.
By Allah, this is too much. What you see here is my younger brother's house. Our father has been killed. Our younger ones have been killed. All our children have been taken away. What do they want us to do with our lives? Truly, we do not even know what government is. Our whole lives, we have not experienced any benefit from the government. We have no schools. Nothing in our lives has remained intact. Our families have been killed. Our children taken away. Now, where are we supposed to go? By Allah, if this town crashes, the entire western part of the Malumafshi will fall. Our houses have been burned, and no form of brutality has not been done to us.
Beyond the inaccessible roads, this community is severely lacking in basic social amenities. There is no electricity, no hospitals, and no school. The community's only reliance is on farming that has now been halted by the insecurity, violence, and destruction that have engulfed this one peaceful area.
Wannan shine gidan nau da sakona. Da suka shigo Allah sa kafin su shigo.
This is my house. They burnt it. Before they entered my house, I heard the sound of gunshot, so I hid in the corner inside my house. See it there. I climbed through the ceiling. I told my wife to hand me our baby. Then I also held her hand, and we climbed up there. That was how we escaped.
Lokacin da Allah ya saka sa wuta bata fara karfi ba, sai Allah ya taimake mu muka sako. Tunda in bacin haka ma da haide mu kone a saman sini.
As the people of Gidan Mantau begins the long process of healing, the community calls for urgent intervention, security, aid, and justice. Their hope now rests on the government to heed their cries and restore peace to this devastated land.
Very pathetic. We saw the situation of the people. We saw the orphans whom their parents have been killed. We saw the houses that were burned. And we sympathize with them, we condole with them, and I promise to see what the government can do to lift up to their problems and also provide the necessary solution.
In Katsina, for News Central, Rukayyah Jibia.
Now to give us more updates on her experience covering this very deeply troubling story, we have our correspondent, Rukayyah Jibia. She joins us live now. Rukayyah, it's good to have you on the program. The last time that I saw you was here in Lagos, but your journey so far since covering on the ground in Katsina has been one that tugs at my heart. I can see from your face you're stressed. Tell us, how have you been since the 19th of August?
But it's always nice seeing you, Judith.
It's always lovely seeing you. Yeah, you're shinier than this. They've stressed you in that Katsina. All right, I need you to take 5 days off. You know, I can give you my remaining 5 days. But tell me.
It's okay.
But tell me, Rukayyah, I want you to share with me the experience in filing that report and just being on the ground, but most importantly, your welfare so far since you first arrived in Gidan Mantau, and so far your work in Katsina. I think people need to understand, the struggles behind the scenes, especially for yourself and reporters like you who are in, insecure-prone areas and dealing with, issues. Please.
Let me start with when I arrived Gidan Mantau. When I arrived Gidan Mantau, I was overwhelmed by the scene. Corpses were still burning when we arrived. There was this, the atmosphere was filled with anger, with grief. They were mourning, and at the same time, they were angry because they feel abandoned by the government. They feel abandoned by the government. I can tell you that in my years of reporting conflict, I have never seen something as cruel as what happened in Gidan Mantau. This experience will forever remain in my heart. I can say this is one of my best stories and this is one of my worst stories because I am still traumatized from what happened in Gidan Mantau. And I know that this is not leaving me anytime soon. And when it comes to us reporters that report in insecure places, I can say that we face many challenges, Judith. I won't lie to you. Gidan Mantau is one of the stories that I can say is still the effect of Gidan Mantau. I think I will carry it for many years to come. After this report, I was very angry and I was traumatized. I felt that no, this is not supposed to happen to anybody else. This is not supposed to be happening. I don't want this to happen to anybody else. So I keep on posting the story on social media. I keep on pushing the story, posting it, to the extent that I angered the government. And I angered the members of the APC, and before you know it, they were arresting my family members. They were pursuing me up and down here and there. The police even invited me. But I can say upon all the stress, and upon all this drama, the thing that still stayed in my heart is the horrors that I saw in Gidan Mantau.
The horrors that you saw in Gidan Mantau. First of all, I want to, I want you to take deep breaths, okay, Rukayyah, because we're still going to go deeper into the horrors that you're about to share. Seeing how shaken you are just by what you witnessed, I can only imagine the reaction of the survivors and families, of those who lost loved ones. What was it like talking to, the respondents and members of those communities, seeing their loved ones charred the way that they are? And most importantly, are you back in Katsina, and how's your family?
They are fine. We're all good. Talking to those victims, Judith, it was very painful. I will lie to you. And it's still in my heart. There was a woman. I can still see her face. I still dream of that woman. 2 of her kids were dead. She lost the 2 kids during the attack. One is just a baby, not up to a year, and then the other one is a toddler. The whole building collapsed on those 2 kids. And I met this woman, and I asked her. She was crying silently, and I asked her, "Ma, what do you want?" And she said, "Death." She said, "I want death. I just want to die." I still see that woman in my dreams, and I don't think this is going to leave me anytime soon, because I just know that these people, the government have failed them. The government have failed these people. Judith, there was no single school in Gidan Mantau. There were no hospitals. The victims that were shot during the attack, most of them died because there was no hospital. They couldn't take them to the hospital. And the bandits, when they attacked, they took all their bikes, the ones that they can't take, they burnt it. So there was no means of transportation. And even if there is, the roads, you can see the roads in the video, the roads were so cracked. So they couldn't take them to the hospital. They just left those people to die. One of them told me that his brother was shouting his name, saying, "Please help me, please help me, help me, take me to the hospital." But he couldn't do anything. He died because there was no means of transportation. So I'm telling you, these 2 people, their story still lingers in my heart, and I don't think I'm forgetting that anytime soon.
Rukayyah, it's really sad that you had to see that in real time. A lot of people see videos and they see, but to them it's far. But you reported it, you saw it. And like you mentioned, you had people coming after you. And it makes me wonder, is it that they don't want people to know that this insecurity is real and it actually happens? Apart from them coming after you and arresting your family, what has been their response to this incident? Now that you've put it out there for the world to see that this is happening in Nigeria, it's not anywhere else, this is not Gaza, this is not Israel, this is Nigeria. Have they done anything so far concerning this incident? Because, from this report, it is obvious that it is happening. What have been there? Have they been there? Has any security presence showed up? What have they done for the community? Have they been able to take people out, help? What have they really done?
When we arrived at Gidan Mantau, by the time we arrived, there was no single security presence. No police, no army, no vigilante, civil defense, nothing. There was no any security, not a single one, till we left. You know, when I arrived Malumfashi, I went to meet the DPO, and I told him that I want to go to Gidan Mantau, but they said the road is not good and there are bandits. So I want you to give me policemen and maybe vigilante groups to escort me to that area. And the DPO was very, very nice. He accepted and they escorted us there. So on our way down to the village, there was no single, I expected that maybe there would be army checkpoints and all, but there was no single security presence. And I asked them in my interview, does any police or army come here during the attack? And they said, it's only the DPO. He just came maybe 30 minutes or 2 hours after the attack, and then after then, he left. And I asked him, maybe you're supposed to stay with these people because the bandits might come back and all. And he told me that those bandits, they have guns. He said machine guns. They are heavily armored, you know. He said we just can't confront them. I'm sorry to say, but we can't because we don't have enough weapons. And I respected that man because at least he told me the truth. So that is it. And then after the attack, like I told you, I went on social media and I keep posting the stories. I keep posting the victims, you know, and there was a lot of backlash. There was a lot of, attacking from social media. They were calling out the governor. I think that is what angered them. That prompts them to arrest my brother in my place. But the thing is, they denied it. They said they didn't arrest anybody. They even accused me of being from the opposition party. They said I was paid. But deep inside me, I know that I just want them to do what is good for these people. So after all the social media attacks and all, then the governor visited the people of Gidan Mantau. And he made a lot of promises. You know, he said he would build schools, hospitals, and all. To date, I don't know if he has done that because, like I told you, I went through a lot, and I just had to leave Katsina.
Now, Rukayyah, I think me and Judith were lost of words seeing this report, and it is devastating. You know, it's
heart-wrenching.
It is heartbreaking for us sitting down here and reporting. Like Judith mentioned, you know, the last time she saw you, you were in Lagos, and now you're there reporting. And
it's hard.
It would have taken so much on your mental health. So how are you navigating? You mentioned, you know, seeing these people in your dream. This is just showing somebody who truly want what is good for your country. So how are you navigating, you know, the intensity of this assignment? How are you coping with this? Because, you know, of course, if you're dedicated to show this, I'm sure that you're gearing up to show more. So how are you managing your mental health?
First of all, I'm in therapy. When I came back from Gidan Mantau, I said I'm done with journalism. I said, I'm not going to report anything again. I'm done. I'm just done. You know, I'm not ready for this. As you know, I'm a mom, and I just don't want anything to happen to my kids because what happened in Katsina, you know, there were a lot of threats on my life, social media attacks and all. But while I'm in therapy now, my therapist asked me that, what do you want? Do you think reporting these attacks, do you think you're doing something good? And I said, yes, I am. And of course, Mr. Kayode has always been there for me. You know, he's my godfather. And I can say he changed my mind because I was truly living, but he changed my mind. And now I can tell you that, Judith, I am more than ready, you know, to continue this conflict reporting.
And Rukayyah, I know that to make things lighthearted, you know me, I always try to make things lighthearted. It's very interesting how you keep calling Queen Judith. Because we look alike, isn't it? And the way we're smiling, we all look alike. The way we're smiling, we all look alike.
Yeah, of course.
And big shout out to the management of New Central and our dedication to continue to, report the underdeveloped and the underserved people. And you are, one of the faces of that movement and that core that we represent. Ours is, to do the ugly job, and you make us look better just doing the work behind the scenes. And before I go on to my next question, I want to say well done and thank you.
Thank you, Rukayyah.
And join all the energies of sending all, how, I like to think that my heart is a ray of sunshine. If you can catch a sunshine, that's exactly what my heart looks like. So I'm sending all that sunlight to you and all that and all that rays to you. But Elliot, you talked about how the powers in Katsina at one point felt like you were on this your report and on this assignment at this point that they sort of started to think that you're one of the agents of the opposition. And so I have to ask about the politicization of insecurity. One has to look at that, where instead of us doing the job and instead of us going behind the scenes and try to get word out and get the right attention to these areas and these insecure places and the lives that are at the balance, it's now being politicized, and how it makes your work extra difficult and threatens your life and your loved ones, including your child. So I want to talk about the politicization of it, but also I understand that this is not the first time these attacks are happening. In fact, the survivors and the families who live in Gidan Mantau have consistently, tried to get the attention of the government, and it was only after this attack before they showed up, and yet, afterwards, you're being targeted. I want to talk about that. So, two sides, the politicization and the repeated attacks and the aftermath.
Okay, let's talk about the politicization. In Katsina, I can say that everything is politicized now. I think even our journalists, most of them are pocketed. You just can't say anything. You have to follow what the government says. If not, then you are an enemy of the state, enemy of the government, and then you are from opposition. So I am sure most of our journalists in Katsina can't say a word. Their mouths are zipped. To even maybe to do a story, to look for an analyst that will analyze the situation for you in Katsina is hard. Because if you do that, then the next thing is you are getting an invitation from maybe DSS or the police. So everybody is silent in Katsina. I can tell you that it's just few people, I included, that can talk about the things happening in Katsina. So I can say, instead of them to focus, like you say, on what is happening, no. They will just mask it with politics. If you talk about it, then you will be attacked, that you're from the opposition, maybe you're just trying to tarnish the image of the governor. Before you know it, they will be after you, the police will be after you, everybody will be after you. And if the police or the DSS or anybody can't touch you, then what happens next? Their thugs will then rise up against you. So that is what is happening in Katsina, Judith.
Right. So, Rukayyah, I think my question now will be, you mentioned that after the report, the governor was able to get to the community. First, I wanted to ask, how far is this community away from the town itself? Because you only had one DPO who was able to follow you there, and he couldn't stay because he said, the police force was not fully armed. They didn't have the guns that the bandit had. So that's one question. And secondly, how many people are in this community, and what did the governor say? Are they going to evacuate the people, or are they going to create a police station? Are they going to create checkpoints? Like you mentioned, there was none going to this. What was his exact promise? And did he give a time frame as to how security is going to get to these people and keep them safe?
Okay, sorry, let me correct you a bit, Celestine.
Yes.
The DPO didn't follow us there.
Okay.
His boys did.
Okay.
Yes. And then the DPO he responded to the attacks that they can't really confront these bandits all the time because they don't have the equipment. You know, they don't have the arms. You know, mostly the soldiers have these heavy armors, you know.
Trucks,
so they said they can't always stop them. They can only do the little they can. So that is what the police said. As for the governor, after he made the promises, I think some of the senators and House of Representatives, they called on Mr. President, you know, even the deputy governor, because when the attack in Gidan Mantau happened, the governor was not even in the country. So the deputy governor, I think he went to the president and told him that this is what is happening, so that please they should help us here in Katsina and all. So they promised to bring an FOB, forward-based operation, right? And an FOB to Malumfashi. But what the residents are complaining is the FOB is supposed to be, you know, in a village near Gidan Mantau. But instead, I think the FOB is in Malumfashi. You know, in Gidan Mantau community, on your way, you will meet like not less than 20-something communities. 20-something communities. They are all surrounded, you know, just little villages, little villages. So I think thousands of people are living in that area, you know. So the FOB is supposed to be in that axis, not Malumfashi. You understand?
Right.
And then again, there is no any time frame. The governor didn't mention any time frame. He just said that he promised to build them schools, access roads, and hospital. I don't know if it is built because I didn't go back to Gidan Mantau up to today. So that is it.
Right. So I have to talk about, as we wrap up this hour, I must say thank you, Rukayyah, for just taking out the time to join us this morning.
Thank you, Julie.
I cannot ask where you're living because now I have to send you a private jet and take you to Bahamas. You know what I mean? Like,
Where I'm living.
So
I'm just a ghost.
So you know what I mean? So you have to be a ghost. I can't ask you. You know what I mean? So you're a ghost. But being a ghost means that you have to appear and disappear at every turn. So do you intend to disappear? Yeah, you know what I mean? So do you intend to disappear and appear in Gidan Mantau anytime soon to just check up on the progress?
I would love to.
Yes. So with that being said, I will leave it there, you know, because clearly it's a developing story.
It is.
And we don't want other people that have come and catch you. Let's leave you, you know, in incognito. Rukayyah, I'm glad I was able to make you smile and, you know, and laugh. Big shout out to you. Thank you so much for all the hard work from everyone here, you know, at the Lagos Bureau for News Central. We say thank you for all the hard work. Thank you for being an ambassador for what we, you know, represent. And we just lost her there. Rukayyah Jibia is our reporter, all the way from Katsina, giving us that story, a report that she filed regarding the tragedy that happened in Katsina, Gidan Mantau.